Hello, my name is Celia Martinez. My presentation today is about police corruption and how it is addressed by the criminal justice system. Police corruption is known as police misconduct, which is a very complex anomaly today, and it actually needs to be addressed more vigorously than it is. The industry of policing has evolved throughout many centuries, and corruption has also been around since policing originated. Although today, it is basically on the rise. And when you think about it, today police officers have more power than they ever did. And I believe that that power has contributed to all the corruption that's going around. Let's face it, if you have the power and you know there are no consequences, you're going to do whatever you want. Now, for police officers, once they complete the police academy, they take an oath to serve and to protect, not to become a criminal like those that they were taught to apprehend. Law enforcement officers are to perform their duties righteously and in a moral way. Today, we basically hear about different law enforcement officers or being arrested or being reprimanded or even fired because of their corrupted behaviors. Corruption in officers is not something that just comes about. It doesn't just evolve. It comes from practice. Let me explain. If you are a police officer and you have a tendency of, let's say, filing false reports or tampering with evidence, you can either even tamper with witnesses. These are things that officers do. These are corrupted acts. And we also have to understand that there are different types of law enforcement officers. So corruption isn't only performed by police officers, because we also have correctional officers, we have immigration officers, there are FBI agents, etc. The corruption can be done for a personal gain. It can also be done because there's a internal satisfaction when it's done. Now, it becomes harder for officers to become more righteous the longer that they served in the force. It's like the longer that they stay in the force, they become more deviant. The officer's corruption is not something that they come into the force learning. It has evolved because they have been able to do other unethical actions and get away with it. Those actions are basically maybe intimidation, discrimination, abuse, sexual assault. When you do these type of unethical acts and you get away with it, then what you do is you increase your levels from just getting away from those tactics to corruption. Now, is the criminal justice system actually holding officers accountable for their corrupted acts? I know the police departments implement rules that's supposed to help control or reduce the corruption. but it's very unsuccessful. There is also a unit within the law enforcement agency that investigates officers for misconduct. That unit is called the Internal Affairs Unit. Once a complaint is filed against a police officer, they will open an investigation. That's what they do. That's what they dedicate themselves to. That investigation will be done by agents. And basically, they're producing a discovery, they're presenting all their findings, and all the evidence and everything that comes about is then taken to the chief accompanied with a disciplinary action recommendation. Now, the worst part about this is that officers are usually receive a slap in the wrist or suffer no consequences. Why? Because we have police that are policing themselves. That's all this unit does. When a complaint is filed, the officer that is not reprimanded or held accountable loses that trust from the citizens. And people lose faith in the criminal justice system. The message sent to officers is that no matter what they do, they won't suffer any repercussions. And because of that, they believe that they're above the law. When in all reality, they are to obey the law, just like the rest of us, if not more. This concludes my presentation. Have a nice evening.